Hello, Shoyan here. I finished the living room and kitchen area in the back, so now I'm installing the floor at the entrance. This entrance hall is about 13 square meters. I'll start by putting up the column, then fit the Kamachi, and then begin laying the floor. Today, I'm working on the floor at the entrance. Unlike in a regular room, entrance floors come with their own set of challenges. When I tore out the old entrance floor, an entire column came out with it. That's because the original column was installed as part of the interior joinery. So, when you remove the ceiling and floor, everything that was standing comes out too. I'll be reinstalling a clean hinoki column in the same spot as before. Several columns get added throughout the house during the interior joinery stage. Not all columns are structural, some don't carry any weight from above, but this one still sits on its own proper pier foundation. It's not joined into any beams or sills to hold it in place. It was basically just secured by some furring strips. This column is really just meant to support the Kamachi at the entrance. If they were put in early, they would just get in the way, so that's probably why they did it later. The installation process is the same as it was back then. I first stand the column temporarily. Once I've notched it for the Kamachi and finished the prep work, I join them. They probably did the same thing 50 years ago, stood it on its own pier. The joint between the columns and the Kamachi is a stopped dado joint, but I don't notch the ends of the Kamachi. I just slide the Kamachi into the columns from the back, and the front face of the Kamachi sits 15 millimeters back from the front of the column. It's the same approach used in new builds. Entrance Kamachi always slide in from the back flooring side toward the front. It's just the typical way of doing it. Next, I notch and install the column. The original locations are still clearly marked on the pier, so I double check the layout to make sure the column is at a right angle to the pier and lines up with the other column. I've adjusted the left and right positions a bit, but I basically put them right back where they were. Now, I notch the other side of the column where the Kamachi goes. This one was tough. I knew this Hinoki cypress would be hard, but it's almost as tough as Zelkova. After 50 years, it really hardens up. They say wood gets stronger as it ages, and at 50 years, it's still not fully hardened. Once it's really dried out, it gets much tougher. Especially the hardwood pieces with off-center cores that are prone to warping, they get really hard. Now I'm prepping the Kamachi for installation. The entrance Kamachi goes by different names like Agari Gamachi, Genkan Gamachi, or Enkatsura. But they all refer to the same thing used at the front edge of the entrance floor. There will be a koan, a first step up from the ground, made of 30mm thick solid wood, so I cut 30mm deep grooves for that. This entrance has a stone-finished floor, but the Kamachi doesn't reach high enough for a single step. It's at an awkward height, about 300mm. If it were around 250mm, one step would work fine. But once it gets close to 300mm, it's too much for a single step. So I'm making it a two-step entrance, just like the original. If the first and second steps are the same height, the upper Kamachi loses some of its visual impact. That's why I'm using a larger timber for the upper Kamachi. I'll just slide the Kamachi into the groove, but I've cut the bottom of the groove at a slight angle to leave space for the wedges. I wedge it there and lift it into place like this. On the old column side, I use a firm wedge as a shim over the stone base. On the new column side, I wedge it in tightly to secure the Kamachi at the top. That's what the angled cut is for. If I forced it straight in, it would definitely get scratched. But lifting it with a wedge makes it fit nicely. Now the column and Kamachi are secured. They are standing in their final positions. Next, I measure out the position for the pier blocks that will support the center beam and set those first. The ground is hard. I tamp it down as much as possible, clear away the debris, and then set the beams that'll carry the joists. Of course, the floor height matches the rest of the house. Since I started from the back and worked my way forward, I keep that alignment going. First the entrance, then the engawa. I can't tear out all the floors at once. Like I've said many times already, this renovation is taking place while the homeowners are still living here. I try to wait until the last possible moment to avoid disrupting their lives. So I finish one area at a time, starting from the back. That's what makes renovations tricky. You've probably seen me install floors plenty of times already. It's always the same. I set the beams, secure the joist, and then adjust the height with the plastic posts. I could level the beams without the posts, but the joists on top never line up perfectly. That's just how it is. 5 or 10 posts all need to share the load evenly. It's not good if just one post is taking all the weight. If any of them are loose, it doesn't work. Instead of just adjusting one post, I check 3 or 4 around it at the same time. Like, hey, are you doing your job properly? Or, aren't you slacking off? Only then can I balance the floor properly on the plastic posts. It's actually hard to get them all perfectly even. Something always ends up just a little loose. I start laying the floorboards from the back, connecting them to what I already installed. Once you get into the flow, it goes smoothly. You just keep doing one board at a time. But like I mentioned before, this entrance hall, or maybe hallway, is really spacious. It's laid out at the right angle and just feels big. There used to be a large, splendid piece of Jindai Hinoki displayed up front. It's impressive, which is probably why they made this space so wide. Now they're debating whether to put it back, but I hope they do. It's such a nice open hall. For this house, we decided to level the floor with the top of the threshold. Because of that, some parts of the floor ended up 30 millimeters higher than the original height. We'll need the homeowners to get used to that. Now the columns, Kamachi, and floor are installed. This entrance hall is really spacious. I'll continue installing the Ngawa connected at the back. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.